Have you ever felt like your heart was shattered into a million pieces? Like the pain was so deep, you looked up and just wondered, God, where are you in all of this? If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. Grief can make us feel abandoned, confused, and so distant from the faith we once held onto so tightly. It's a lonely place to be, but what I've come to learn and what I want to share with you today is that sometimes it's in the deepest, darkest valleys of our sorrow that we actually encounter God more intimately than ever before. Pain can, surprisingly, become a pathway straight into His presence. When loss strikes, whether it's the death of someone you love so dearly, a relationship that suddenly breaks apart, or the life you knew vanishing overnight, profound silence often follows. The prayers you used to send up with confidence now feel like they're hitting a ceiling. The scriptures that once brought you so much comfort suddenly feel like words on a page, distant and hollow. You might find yourself whispering into the darkness, God, where are you? And in that silence, it is so easy to mistake God's quietness for His absence. It feels like He's gone, like He's left you to fend for yourself. But I've come to realize that His silence doesn't always mean He's gone. Sometimes it means He's simply sitting right there beside you, grieving with you. The Bible reminds us in Psalm 34-18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. He is close. Even when you can't feel Him, even when the world feels cold and empty, He's there. Not necessarily to fix everything in an instant, but to hold you, to be with you right through the storm. Let's be honest, grief puts our faith to the ultimate test. You might find yourself feeling angry with God. I know I have. You ask, why? Why did you let this happen? Why did someone I love have to be taken away? And I want you to know, it is absolutely okay to question Him. It's okay to be angry. The Bible is filled with stories of people who wrestled with God in their pain. Think of Job, who lost everything. Think of David, crying out in the Psalms. Even Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane cried out in anguish. Faith isn't about never having doubts. It's not about putting on a brave face and pretending everything is fine. True faith means you keep talking to God, even through the doubt, even through the anger and confusion. It's that fragile, trembling prayer, the one that says, God, I don't understand any of this, and I'm hurting so much, but I'm still here. I'm not letting go. That is where real healing begins. Not in finding all the answers, but in maintaining an honest, raw relationship with Him. Especially when you're hurting the most. Sometimes we look for God in the grand miracles, in loud, unmistakable signs. But in grief, I've found that He often shows up in the quiet, gentle whispers. Think about it. Maybe it was a song that came on the radio, and the lyrics spoke directly to the ache in your heart. Or a friend who sent a text just to check in, right at the moment you felt most alone. Or maybe, in the middle of a complete breakdown, a wave of peace washed over you, even for just a few seconds. Those aren't just coincidences. I truly believe they are little love notes from heaven, gentle, persistent reminders that God is still reaching out to you. I remember a time when I was so numb with grief that I felt I couldn't even form the words to pray anymore. I just had nothing left. Then one morning I happened to watch the sunrise, and this overwhelming, unexplainable calmness just settled over me. It was in that moment that I realized God hadn't left me. He was speaking to me through His creation, through beauty, through the stillness of the morning. He finds ways to get through to us, even when our hearts are too heavy to look for Him. Pain changes us. There's no doubt about that. But it doesn't have to destroy us. In fact, God can use our grief to do something profound in our hearts. He can use it to soften us, to deepen our compassion, and to draw us closer not only to Him, but to other people who are hurting. 2 Corinthians 1-4 says something so beautiful. He comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. Think about that. The comfort you are receiving from God right now, even in tiny doses, is not just for you. Maybe your story, your tears, your struggle, and eventually your healing will one day become a beacon of hope for someone else who feels lost in the same darkness. This doesn't mean the loss was a good thing. It never will be. But it does mean that even in the most broken pieces of our lives, God can bring forth something beautiful, something with purpose. Your pain is not wasted. Healing isn't a straight line, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. You'll have days where you feel His presence so strongly and you feel a glimmer of hope. And then you'll have days where you feel completely lost again, right back in the fog. And that is okay. Please hear me. That is perfectly okay. Healing with God isn't about moving on from the pain as if you can just leave it behind. It's about moving with Him through it, one small step at a time. So, how do you take those steps? Maybe you could try journaling your prayers, just writing down your rawest thoughts to God, or just sit in silence and let your tears become your worship. Sometimes the most powerful prayer is one that has no words at all. Try reading the Psalms aloud and letting David's words become your own. Every single act of reaching for God, no matter how small or feeble it feels, is a step toward peace. It's an act of faith. If you are in that dark place today, if you feel broken and alone, please know this deep in your soul: God has not abandoned you. He is walking with you right through this valley. He is holding your hand, even if you can't feel His grip. And one day, when the light begins to return, and it will, even if it est just faintly at first, you will look back and realize He was there with you all along. Thank you so much for watching and for allowing me to share my heart with you. If this video spoke to you, maybe you could share it with someone who might need a reminder that God is still near, especially in their grief. Remember, you are not alone in this, and your pain is never, ever wasted in God's hands. Please take care of yourself.